Root of Evil is a production of C13 Originals, a division of Cadence 13, in partnership with TNT. This story contains strong language and graphic and potentially disturbing content. Discretion is advised.
Rosh and Yvette have a super tight relationship, a good one.
This is our uncle, Love Hodel.
They really love each other, and they got each other's back. And I admire it to the end of time. I wish I had their connection with my brothers. If I were to want something and desire, and maybe even something that would soften my heart and make me cry, would be the fact of being that close with my brothers, which I had when I was really, really young. But then, everybody changes. People change, People morph into whoever they are.
My relationship with both my brothers, I think it would be a lot different had we been raised differently or raised in a normal household.
And that's Uncle Joy.
There'd be a lot more love, and communication. I love my brothers, but I don't go out of my way to express it. Growing up, Geese and Love didn't talk. The Faunas didn't talk. The brothers didn't talk to the sisters, the nieces. There's always been distance and, not resentment, but less of a connection at certain times with, one family member or another. The wedge really worked because of Tamar.
Everybody in the family has some secret, and I don't think they're all bad. They're not all skeletons, but there's some deep-rooted stuff that might, make us sad to hear what they might have gone through or what secret that is, But family's all you got, you know what I mean? So you might as well stick together.
Crank up that radio. Let me tell y'all a story.
How do you wrap up a story where so much is still unwritten? After generations of pain, the Hodels have tried to address our family dysfunction head on. It's been cathartic, but now we all have to begin the slow process of putting our family back together. And that could take the rest of our lives.
Flying down that wide highway, them coming from all around, coming like crowds, like never before. They can't wait to see.
This is Root of Evil, the true story of the Hodel family and the Black Dahlia. I'm Yvette.
And I'm Rasha, and we're your hosts. When Yvette and I began doing this podcast, the very first thing we did was go to our mom's storage container to see what we could find to help tell her story. But in the process, this became something much bigger. It became our whole family's story. One by one, slowly, the Hodels agreed to go on this journey and try to make sense of our collective family trauma. Like Fauna 2 said in episode 5, you can't bury it, no matter how hard you try. It's burying yourself. This is true for all of us. And just speaking for Yvette and I, although it's been really hard to learn such painful things about our aunt and uncles, we want to know more.
So we all agreed to meet in Los Angeles. Because it's one thing to tell our stories separately. It's a whole different thing to do it all in one room, face to face, and speak about things we've never told each other. We're hoping it'll help us grow closer as a family. Unfortunately, our Uncle Joy couldn't make it from Hawaii. But I'm in from San Francisco, and Rosh is here from Portland. Love flew in from Hawaii, and Peace and Fauna 2 live here in LA.
None of us could figure out how long it's been since we were all together in one room. But it's somewhere between 25 and 35 years.
My name is Rasha Pecoraro. I'm the youngest daughter of Fauna Hodel, and I'm sitting next to my only sister.
My name is Yvette Gentile, and I am the oldest daughter of Fauna Hodel, and I am sitting next to my Uncle Love.
Hi, and my name is Love Hodel, and I am the last of the siblings, the youngest to Tamar Hodel, and I'm sitting next to my sister, Fauna Elizabeth Deborah Hodel, or whatever we say. However it's all mixed in, I don't know how it is.
Yes, I am Fauna Elizabeth. I was born Deborah. I am the second of the Hodel family of Tamar Hodel, the second daughter. And I'm sitting next to my brother.
Hi, this is Peace Hodel, Peace on Earth Hodel. Actually, if we wanted to say the whole thing on the birth certificate, Peace on Earth, Goodwill Towards Man, Hodel, Tamar's oldest son. Joy on Earth, Hodel is not here to be part of the podcast as a group, but will be here in spirit, or is it here in spirit?
Joy to the World is actually his name.
Joy to the World,
Joy to
Hodel.
the World.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on his birth
Yeah.
certificate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I picked him up in the hospital. It said Joy TTW Hodel. last
That's
week.
absolutely
That's
right.
Joy to the world. But I always thought you were love to all mankind.
No, love is just love.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all you need is love.
Right.
Or we could always bust out your middle school name or whatever.
They know that. Yeah, I was scared. I was scared getting bullied by all the mokes growing
He did
up,
get
and I
bullied.
made up a middle name of Stephen,
Oh, that's right.
ironically.
Steven.
That's right.
I remember
That's
that.
right. I totally remember that.
And it didn't stick too long because love was killer.
Right.
Better surfer name.
Love it.
Totally.
Joy really had a connection to all of us individually.
Especially if there's anything nitty gritty,
Yeah,
he
he
would
was
step in.
Step in.
Yeah.
He would like.
He was solid.
Something,
he is
if
solid.
something needed
was
to
very
be done
solid.
or
He's a
said,
solid guy.
he made sure he filled the gap.
He's been a good
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
representative.
To
Yeah.
me, Fauna was the glue. To
And
me,
he's
she's the
referring to
glue.
our
So
sister who is
I'm
not
having-
here.
Yeah,
right?
I'm having a hard time just processing that. It's been a year, and then, I haven't sat in the same room with these folks together in years. And then, Fauna was always there. So I'm still processing. So
And I'm not hurt by that because my mother made sure
It's
that
not
I
a
wasn't in
competition,
their
just
life.
truth.
No. I just want to clarify that our mother made sure that I was not around
I think that was
after I
true
left.
of all of us, though.
And for 2 nights, I've had nightmares so bad. I have a major, larger
Oh, and
goal
yeah.
beyond this interview.
Everybody does.
That's the
yeah.
only thing and reason that I'm here.
Yep.
I want to bond this family. I want to be part of this family.
You
you
are.
are.
part
You
of the
are.
family.
You
I've
are.
not felt that I was because Tamar kept us apart so long.
Well, she did.
Yeah, but she's long since gone. We're here in the room together here.
Yes.
So let's do
Can I
it.
just tell you
last-
one thing? So
yeah.
just to kind of maybe make you feel a little brighter,
Mhm.
you got to be one of the toughest women I know.
Thank you.
So I don't want to break down, but I'm just letting you know you're fucking tough. So
Yeah.
Yeah. With all the shit that you've
Yeah.
gone
you're very
through.
tough.
And we believe
need
you.
to be
Yeah,
proud.
we just want you to know.
Yeah.
We
Hold your head
believe
up
you.
high
Well,
for
that's
who you are.
incredible
You
to
knew
believe.
that. Come on. We love each other. You're part of this family. You've always been part of this family. But I know how Tamar was, and she did it to all of us, And it took Joy. I mean, talk about Joy. He was the guy that filled the gap, that would call people
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and make you feel
Yes.
uncomfortable and say, I was
He
going to let
did.
I was going to let Tamar, just die. I was okay with
Yeah.
just accepting the fact that I wasn't going to see her, wasn't having any closure. Not that I did have a whole lot of closure. He said, you should be here. Be the son I always was, but she never would acknowledge, So, but I didn't get that closure or anything like that. Like for me, it's the same thing with my dad. I never met him once in person.
I thought you met your dad.
Yeah,
you met your
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
I met my brother.
You met your brother.
Oh, but
that's
not your
right.
dad.
Yeah.
But not your
Oh.
dad.
And who is your dad?
We called him Bill.
We don't, yeah. I just was, the larger point was,
didn't know
I was
that.
there in his life at the end for him, not for me. And that's been the case for both parents.
I'll be totally honest. I mean, my nerves have been all over the place for
Why?
sure today.
About joining up, everybody's
Oh,
different
yeah.
thoughts coming out. and-
Yeah. And holding on to old shit. And
yeah.
From where? Experience between
Uh-huh.
all of us? Or
Yeah.
what's the most that came to you that caused that? Go ahead and say it. It's okay.
Oh,
Whatever. Just bring it out.
okay.
This is the time. It's okay.
It's okay.
We're here.
You won't hurt.
We got
You
you.
won't hurt anyone.
It's okay.
You're not hurting anybody.
You're going
know.
to just heal. Believe me.
So losing our mom was the single most devastating thing that's happened
Of course.
in my entire life. And people, they do weird shit when people die. And, but you and I, we talked about it. Like, when
Say
I'm fine.
what it is.
So when you were calling, so I had mom's cell phone
Yeah.
and you were calling mom's cell phone after she died and that,
Yeah.
but
I didn't know you were listening.
well, I had the phone, you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't think about that.
no, I know, but and you and I have hashed
I
that
missed
out.
her.
Yeah. And it was just heavy, hearing you talk to your dead sister, who's my dead mom,
Yeah.
and
I'm sorry.
no. And I mean, and you and I, like at her celebration of life, you and I talked about it and you're like, Rasha, if anything bothers you, just tell me. I'm like,
Yes,
okay.
I mean it.
Yes. And
Still.
no, I know. But hearing you leave the voicemails for mom, I was like, it just was disturbing to me, knowing that you were leaving her voice. I honestly, like, it's out of my, like, I don't even remember what you
But
said.
you hold it in your heart. I see it.
No, but that's, you and I talked about that
Yeah.
and I feel safe with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, because like
I never
am-
meant to cause you any hurt.
I know. And you told me that.
I think what has happened is that as much as you love her, it's hard for you to realize how much we loved her too. But to us, because we didn't have family, and with you and each other and Fauna, you were real family.
You guys were a real family.
And we didn't have that. When Fauna came in and back, even though the one thing between our names was the one thing that kept us, it was the only thing that was a problem. The bond of the sister bond. I never had a sister. And so we miss her. And I called all of those reasons was why. And our insensitivity was not because of our insensitivity.
I know you didn't do it consciously.
It was because of our love of her.
Yeah.
That's what all that poured out of us. And because you're in your grief, it just felt like more of a burden. And it was never, it wasn't intended. You
Totally.
know that mentally.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't mean it didn't hurt.
emotionally,
Yeah.
it hurt you.
Mhm.
But verbally, I want to tell you, the psychology of it all is because we loved her so. And because we are not family, a family knowing and having that kind of connection, we couldn't see that it was an intrusion.
I know.
Had we been family like that, we would have seen the social graces and said, oh gosh, we shouldn't do that.
We're all raised by Tamar.
See,
so
we didn't
all
even.
those-
I'm sorry.
We didn't,
Well, whatever.
exactly.
You know,
So
my thing
we
is,
didn't
we're
even
survivors.